Good morning, guys. Thank you for joining the Classe365 product demo. This is a weekly product demo which we run. And it's early in the morning here in Sydney, and I welcome everyone who is in different time zones. So let's get started. So just a quick housekeeping here. So as you could probably see on the page, so there is a live chat as well. So please note that that's a public chat, and whatever message you kind of put in, it's publicly available for everyone who is on the chat. So so just be mindful of that. So let's get started. So you should be able to see a PowerPoint presentation. So the quick agenda for today is I'm just going to talk quickly about Classe365, our journey so far, and give you an introduction of what we call a unified approach to student information system, learning management system, and customer relationship management. So ours is what we call a unified platform, where you literally don't need any other application to manage your education institution. And finally, I'll do a live demo which goes into the details of every module we have. All right. So what is Classe365? So what we do, we are a SaaS-based student information learning management solution. There is elements of not elements, a pretty comprehensive CRM built into it as well. So who is it for? It's for administrators of education institutions, be it school, higher education colleges or universities. If you look at our broad portfolio of customers, we have customers from 15 students, or in fact, 8 students, which is a dance academy, to a 32,000 student university as well. Everything actually runs on a single platform, which is a single code base, where you can enable disable modules which you want. Ours is a very modular architecture, enabling you to enabling any education institution or any institution which has got students manage the whole administration much more efficiently. What are we doing? We are consolidating multiple applications to increase student enrollment, to manage the student life cycle much better, learning activities, and also social collaboration as well. How is it different from some of the other applications you might have probably evaluating by now? Ours is a unified approach. As I said, we are probably a very few applications who has got a CRM, a SIS, and an LMS, all of them in a single platform, right? So that's what Classe365 is. And quickly about our journey. So we're born in the cloud. What I mean by that is everything which we do is in the cloud. It's a SaaS application. We don't have an on-prem instance. We can actually have an on-prem instance for larger customers, which is more than 15,000 students, where we kind of host them in a private cloud, either on Azure, Microsoft Azure, Google Compute Engine, or AWS. We started off, 3 co-founders who were kind of in education across different, Fortune 500 companies, including Microsoft, Google, Fairfax Media, which is one of the bigger media companies here in Australia. We went through the development phase of the platform, and in 2014 we launched it. And since we launched, we have never looked back. We've constantly had amazing clients coming on board, really kind of helping us what they need, and we're kind of pretty much following the feedback which we are getting from customers. At the same time, some of the innovative ideas we had of changing the way educators manage their affairs in the education institutions. Right. So at the moment, we have more than 3,000 active subscribers. I say active because those people are kind of actively working through application in about 90 countries across the world. So there's probably a country we can give you a client which we can reference provide a reference to you wherever you are joining the webinar today. And also, just recently, we've been climbing the ladder in terms of Capterra, which is an independent evaluator of student management systems. We're right now ranked number 11, but the top 10 is probably, the top 5 at least is probably the Fortune 500 company like Ellucian, Blackboard, where you would probably expect to pay quite a lot for a similar functionality. Right. The next thing I want to talk about is what we call a unified approach. As you can see here, there's various modules. We have the pre-admission modules, which has got the CRM elements, the lead management, online and application forms, student information system, pretty much everything from, starting from grade books, attendance, bulletin boards or notice boards, everything which is part of it. And yeah, so and learning management system, including live video. So we're kind of coming up with the Skype translator integration as well, which enables a live webinar, or sorry, live lectures similar to this. But if you're in China and you only know Mandarin, you can turn on Mandarin, and whatever I'm saying, that's going to be translated into Mandarin on the fly. So those are some of the things which we are kind of working on, and which is available as beta to a lot of customers as well. So that's from a learning management system, portals and communication. So we have parent-teacher portal, student and parent portal, admin and teacher portal, sorry, and parent student portals, SMS, email. So we have iOS and Android apps as well, which provides push notifications to those apps. So we from a financials perspective, so we have a fee and donation module. At the same time, we have a complete financial accounting platform as well. We do have external integrations to Xero, QuickBooks, and Sage OCPAC as well. Scholarships and grant management, which is going to be coming up soon in Q1 this year, where especially for our US clients, Title IV grant management can be done through our platform as well. Finally, from an administration perspective, there's quite a lot of modules. There's always new modules coming up, and we tend to put this one in the administration aspects. For example, library, a comprehensive library module, e-commerce module as well. So literally, you can have your own web store, online store, where you can sell merchandise, textbooks, stationery, whatever it may be, that's private to your education institution, right? So that's available. So I'm going to show all these things as part of the demo itself. So this is what we mean by the unified approach to education institution or education institution management. Right, so let's get in. So I'm gonna share my my screen, and we can start the video. Sorry, demo. Just give me a second while I do that. Share screen. So I want to share only demo video. Here we go. So now you will be seeing the demo login where it can be yours. So whatever you kind of register and want your subdomain to be or an account name to be. For example, it will be your school.classe365.com. We can rewrite this URL. So if you opt for our white label, so where you will be able to rewrite this, you could say your domain.com/student portal, or whatever it may be, right? Everything on the screen is customizable. The background image, so you can easily customize that. The logo, obviously, and the name. So everything is customizable to whatever you want. We'll soon be releasing a live video as well, so you can actually have a live background video showing up as part of the login. Now, there's a few login options for you. So this tenant or this demo account is enabled with Google Apps, or Google Apps for Education. So I will be able to sign in through Google Apps. Similarly, you can have Office 365 integration as well, where you could sign in through the Office 365 account. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Similarly, you can sign in as a teacher, as a student, and parent. And they can sign in through their Google account, or you can create username passwords for them, and they can sign in with that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Google account. So once I sign in, I'm actually taken to the dashboard. So we call it dashboard, and I'll explain to you the entire flow here. So what it is, but note that because I have logged in as through my Google Apps account, all my Google assets will show up here. At the same time, the various assets will be available for me to work as well. So for example, if I'm in learning management system, I want to attach a document, I can attach a document through Google Drive. So the sync calendar sync is not enabled for this tenant, but you can sync your calendar as well up here, which is your Google Calendar. Now, so this is the dashboard. So in the dashboard, there's two dashboards. So one is what we call the statistics and the social learning. From a statistics perspective, so you pretty much have a complete overview of your institution. So how many students you have, how many teachers, what are the events that is scheduled, new application. So has anyone applied for the course, and how you can manage that side of it, like the lead management. How much SMS credits you have. So we have integration with Twilio. A common question we get asked is, do we have to pay for the credits? The first 500 credits are free. And so after that, so it is actually charged at whatever the charges are for your country in Twilio. So you could go to twilio.com and check the SMS prices for your country. And you buy that one in bulk of 1,000 SMSs through our platform. So that's the default SMS that's available. We can also integrate into any of your SMS gateways in your country as a specific customization for your tenant. Here you have all the events that are scheduled. So these are the events for the whole of the school or the institution, where you can check on what's been happening, or what are the events that's coming up. So these are the online notice boards or the bulletin boards. You can easily search by what are the messages you send to teachers, students, and parents. Note that this notifications, it will also go as a push notification if any of your teachers, students, or parents have a mobile app installed. Right. So these are details on the birthdays. What's the birthdays of students or parent or the teachers. what's the birthday for, the upcoming birthdays, right? Now here is the statistics. So this is the financial statistics. It's like a quick summary. So you know that, who's, this is the overall for the whole of education institutions, what's paid, what's not paid, what's discounted, what's canceled, everything you can probably see here. And you can also drill down into, a specific grade or section. These are all the various fees that you're set up, and gets to see what's paid, what's not paid, and stuff. So this is what we call the skill-based directory and skill-based search. So it's basically an organization-wide directory where you can search by students or search by the skill. So what we call skills or tags is you can tag a student based on the skills they have or the group or anything, and search that student by that tag. Just as an example, say you're trying to put together a team for your football team. So you just search by football, and you know that Samuel here is tagged himself as a football player. You can contact him and say and put him in a team. Same with teachers as well. With teachers, we have the teachers have the option to connect their LinkedIn account. That means that all the social details and all the details on the LinkedIn shows up here. That means that administrators, if they're kind of looking for someone to fill in a class or whatever, so they can search by use the directory to search any specific skills, anything, right? So it's quite a handy tool. And also with alumni, it's kind of great as well. You can search by that, and alumni can connect their Facebook account, LinkedIn account, Twitter account as well. So that's directory search. We also have an enterprise search here. You just click on the navigation search icon there, and you can search by either student, say whatever the student is. I get the details about the students, or invoice, anything, right? So you can search on anything. If it searches those keywords and gives you the result. Right, so that's the dashboard. To finish off the dashboard, we have, as I said, statistics and social learning. Social learning is, think of it as your private social network or a private Facebook for your school or education institution. So where you can collaborate with your teachers and students, not parents, but teachers and students. You can post comments, which may be a message or a link, a photograph or a file, and everyone else can, and you can post it to a selected group, not only all users. So maybe I want to select it to only Bachelor of Engineering semester 1 students, and people can comment on it, so they can like. They can comment on it and do whatever they want. So that's what we call social learning. An element of social learning is also available on our LMS module, where we call discussions. Students in the student portal, they can sort by either they're kind of looking at the school-wide social learning, or their specific classes or the course they've enrolled for. Alrighty, so the next thing is I'll quickly give you an introduction of all the menus and all the modules. So here we have the module. So when you go hover over the module section, you have various modules. All our modules are kind of divided into 3 sections: academics, learning and communication, and administration. And you can also have quick links to the modules on the right-hand side as well. So also, I'm just going to open the settings page as well, so that I can quickly go back and show you what are the options that are available in settings. Yeah, so and from a help perspective, we have some really good content around getting started. There's a knowledge base which is a complete repository of all our help videos and how-to guides as well. We also have what we call the in-app support. So all the support, everything is done through our in-app support. All you need to do is just open up a conversation and message, and one of our team will be able to help you out. Right, so let's get started on various modules. So I'm going to explain all the modules that are available. And yeah, just ask us any questions if you have through the chat functionality, and I'll try to answer it after we kind of finish the webinar. Yeah, so cool. So let me go through each one of that. So very first thing, once you subscribe for the platform, the very first thing you got to do is you got to set your grade, or classes or subjects, right? So now here it's calling as grades because we can always change all these terminologies. So if you go into the settings and terminologies, I can set up the class. Here it's actually called grades. I can call it to anything. I can call it to class, whatever. So that means that pretty much the details will change into the classes everywhere it's actually referred to. So it's changed to class and subject. So this is the first thing you do is set up your classes. It's very simple. So this is a new UI which we have just built. Try to make it really simple to set it up. You got to add a class. So if there's a department, you want to structure it by department, just enable department, or just you don't have to have this, just disable it and it will just show up like a class view. So you can easily add a class code, and once you added a class, just click on the list icon here, and you will be able to add sections. And the sections are a group of students within a class. So it can be, say, Division A, Division B, or Section 1, 2, 3, or Semester 1, Semester 2, Semester 3. So it can be anything like that. So once you added a section, you got to add a class. So select one of the sections here, and you can easily add you can easily add subjects and make those subjects as core or elective, whatever it may be, right? So that's how easy it is to set up classes, divisions, or semesters and subjects. So once you do that, so we go into manage students, so you can start uploading the student details. So here I have I can upload whatever the student details manually, or from the settings section I can go into import export and upload all my students, teachers, right? So it's and it's pretty easy. It's an Excel or a CSV format, so you can download those. Sorry, you can import the students through Excel or CSV files. All right, so now the other really cool thing about Classe is all the fields which is available here is kind of customizable. So to do that, you just go into add, edit fields. So these are all the fields which is set up. Some of them are default, so you can't change it. But some of them can be edited or deleted. So here, for example, I can delete any of these records. And to add it, so I just drag and drop into it. And if you're on mobile devices, you just click on it, you'll be able to add add the details. So I can change this to whatever. So just say demo, and it saves once you come out of tab, it's kind of saves it. So if I go back into manage students, and so I should probably have, okay, webinar demo. Right, so you can easily edit fields. So student portal is for sending out login details for the student portal. So you can easily send login details to via email or via SMS itself. So so just select everyone, and you can bulk send everyone, or you can individually send, or even change username password directly from here. Alrighty, so let's quickly look at one of this how the student profile looks. So I'm just going to select Helena here, and this is how the student profile looks. Pretty easy, and in one view you can have details of everything about the students, their personal details, the fees, the library details, attendance, report cards, health record. Health record, through the health record module, you can see, all the allergies or medications they're taking. So you can set up all these information. So behavior analytics is one of our key, probably differentiators. The heart of Classe365 is what we call and has a functionality called analytics engine. So what it's doing is it's kind of analyzing pretty much every aspect about a student. For example, what are the so for example here it's kind of assessing what are the how is their attendance kind of correlating to their marks. So as you can see here, there's his attendance is been pretty good, but his marks is low. That means that there might be some attention deficit, so he's not been attentive in the class. So what you can do is you can focus, you can ask the teacher to focus more while he's kind of in the class, and these alerts will be sent out to teachers as well as parents, so that they can, if required, they can have that individualized learning plans as well. So now here is the summary of all the fees that's been paid, that's not been paid, everything up here. And you can view invoices just by clicking on this icon. So activities are, say for each class, a teacher wants to just send a review. So a review can be anything, right? So and they can actually do that. They can also send an email directly to the student, or also send an SMS. All the details, not only the information is kind of send it through here, but also all the default messages or organization-wide messages which is being sent, get sent, will be recorded here. So that you actually send this information. Students will know that when they enter the portal, they'll know that what are the information that is kind of messages that's being sent by the admin or by the teacher. So that's activity. So that's kind of pretty much what I want to show from a student perspective. So we have an option for managing elective subjects. So if there are any elective subjects, you can easily manage that. So you can easily allocate students those elective subjects. Right, so I can say this is an elective subject. So not only from the same class or the grade, you can assign subjects from other classes as well. So that's from an elective subjects management perspective. So coming to the teacher modules, pretty similar to student module in terms of import, export, and sending out invitations, login invitations. Note that if you have Google Apps for Education, all you need to make sure is you have the email address matching to the Google Apps email address. So if that's the case, they can easily log into the platform without being able to set up, you don't have to set up any username password for them. Alrighty, so from an admin perspective, so you can add an admin member. So you can add an, it's similar with portal as well. One thing I want to mention here is once you add an admin member, you can set permissions for what modules they have access to. For example, Dean here has got access to, say, only the fee and financial accounting module. That means that he may be an accountant, so he doesn't need access to other modules. So this is how you kind of set permissions for different administrators. So that's the teachers and administration module. Parent module is pretty similar. You can send portal details, login details to parents. Also, you will be able to see, for example, how many kids the parent has. For example, Maurice Bailey here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids studying. So this is like the siblings details here as well. So I'm gonna talk about the assessment and grading. The assessment and grading is, so we had the old one. So this is actually deprecated. We do have few clients working on this. So once the academic year is kind of done, so we will be deprecating this. Now, assessment and grading is something which we launched recently. It is probably one of the most comprehensive grading platform in the market. You can do anything with it. So you can set up assessment. So the first thing you do is set up the grades. So you can set up assessment categories initially. You can add assessment categories, all types of assessment categories. And then you can set up weighted averages, CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, different grading scales. We support 4, which is normal GPAs or CGPAs, rubric, percentage, or manual entry. So you can't edit percentage or manual entry. We just made sure that that there's 4 types of grading scales. So that's why it's been shown here. But rubrics, and you can set up new rubric scales and grades and stuff easily. You can have report cards, different report cards. So for example, you can have different report cards for different grades or different departments as well. Different types of report cards. So you can do all these things. So once you set up all these details, so you go to a specific class or section, and select the subject, and you will be able to mark the grades from the gradebook. So here it's pretty much like an Excel, so you can actually move move from one cell to another, and you can just enter the details. So note that there'll be various icons depending on what type of assessment it is. Just hover over the information icon, and you'll be able to see those details. So we're not going to go detail into it because so there is a dedicated tutorial on the grading side, and we kind of recommend that one to go through that tutorial. But it's kind of a high-level overview of the grade setup, grading module. All right, so attendance. Is pretty straightforward. You select attendance. So you can set up attendance by subjects or by sessions. So this is actually set up as sessions. So you can select the class, you can select the division. You can easily mark attendance. You can mark everyone as present and then say, okay, Udo here is late, and mark a comment. And once I mark a comment, there will be an icon specifying that he's late, and there's something, a comment is being made by whoever, the teacher or the administrator. Now you can actually send an SMS. So say for example David is absent. Once you select send SMS or an alert saying that the student is absent, so you can do that to parents as well as the absentee as well. So once you send that details, you actually get sent some other information around attendance percentage for the specific session or the subject itself. So that's our attendance module. We do have a module coming up where through our mobile app, you can take attendance by just scanning their student ID. So with the platform, you will be able to print student ID and then take attendance through mobile app as well. So that will be releasing, first quarter, which is in the next couple of weeks as well. Alrighty, so that's attendance. Student records, sorry, health records. Very simple again. I just select the class and look at editing it. I have a clear record of all the routine checkups done, what are the incidents that have been reported by probably the nurse or anyone, and also I can see what are the allergies, medications, immunization history, relevant to schools but not higher education, and documents as well. So if there's any medical records or anything you need to store, so all these things is here as well. So that's medical records, pre-admission. So I want to spend some time on this very important module for a lot of our customers. Basically, the pre-admission module enables you to collect online applications. To do that, the very first thing you do is you need to set up the online application. So here is where, similar to the student module, so where you can actually set up various fields for the application form. So you can preview the application form, what you're doing, just by clicking on the preview button. So if I'm a potential student, I want to apply for the school, I just select whatever class I want to go, put in all the relevant information. So there's also the ability to collect application fees online as well. So we have PayPal integration, Go Cardless, especially for UK clients. We have integration with Authorize.net and a few other platforms, Stripe, Braintree, where you can collect information, payment information. So once I apply for any of the courses, what happens is all the details will show up in the application section. Right, so it will show up in the application section, so I can easily see what are the pending applications. So there might not be any pending. So there's so what are the, say, accepted? So here are various applications that's in the admission offered status. So I can go into the application. I can see all the details. I can move between different stages, so application status. So I can mark it to pending again, or I can accept him. I can provide an admission letter, offer admission, and finally I can enroll the student. So once I enroll the student, I can select where he's going to be enrolled to. So he's applied for grade 1. So whether I want to put him in, whichever the specific division is. So once that's enrolled, so all the information goes into the student information system, right? So there's no information I need to key in, right? There's no another data entry required. So everything is kind of entered by the student or the parent, and that's being registered back into the application, to the student information system. So that's pretty much I want to talk about the pre-admission module. Learning management system, as I mentioned before, we have a learning management system built into it. So the reason we did that is because of the hassle in terms of connecting into external LMS platforms, which is one of the reasons. So as an administrator, I kind of select whatever the class, or this is as a student, if you kind of log in, you kind of directly go into a section where only the student, only the subjects you teach is visible to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and click one of the subjects. So this is our LMS view, very modern, very different to any of the things which is you might probably seen in the market. And again, we try to simplify it, provide all the details in one page. There's very less page refreshes. So a lot of thought gone into the design of it as well. So on the left-hand side, this is what we call flipped class, but you can call it as curriculum, lesson plans, blended learning, whatever you want to call, right? So basically helps teachers to structure their lessons or the course. So I can add a section, or I can add lectures. So if I want to add a lecture, so once I created a lecture, I can add content into it. So to add content, just click on that plus icon, and I can see all the information which I have already uploaded here. For example, there's a document. I can upload videos. I can upload documents like Word document, Excel, PowerPoint presentations, even text as well, including HTML code into it. So once I do that, all the content is shown up here, and if I want to click on it, it opens up what we call a lecture view, where on the left hand side you will be able to see the actual the content. On the right side, you can look at various where you are. For example, you're kind of in section 3, and you're in this video, right? So you can switch between you can go to next, which is a PowerPoint presentation. So it loads up the PowerPoint presentation just inside the browser itself. So you can actually go pop out and then download that document if you want. Right. So yeah, so that's pretty much from an LMS perspective, which is as part of the functionality which we call flipped class. On the right side, you have discussions. You can have discussions with the students of this class, upload files, links, whatever it may be, and students can collaborate on that. Assessments is all the assessments you kind of set up. You can, if you click on this, if you want to add it, you just click on manage, and you actually takes into manage assessments and grading, and where you can set up new assessments and so forth. Quizzes, you can set up new quizzes here. Resources, you can add resources. So these are all enterprise-wide resources. So these are not enterprise-wide, class-wide resources. And again, because if you are kind of logged in as Google Apps, so it kind of shows up. You can pick from Google Apps account, your Google Drive account. Students, list of all students is shown here. So that's pretty much from an LMS perspective. So in conscious of time, and I'm gonna skip through, sorry, not skip through, rush through a few of the things. So in terms of, so that's pretty much what we covered from an academics perspective. Learning and communications, you can send emails and SMSs. You can send all the emails to a specific class or section, all parents, or all the send details will show up here. Sent information. Similar, SMS is also pretty similar to emails. Events are, as I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, these are so these are events which you kind of add for the whole of the school. So let me pick colors and make it orange. So I can drag and drop into a specific day. Right. So that's from an events perspective. Class scheduling is pretty similar to events, but you're scheduling a specific for a class or the whole a group of classes. So to schedule, just name it. So once you name it, it will be listed here, and you can just click on the calendar icon here to open up the schedule. So here it is. So these are the schedules. There's no schedules here. So let me click one which has something. I think this one had. Here we go. There's a few schedules here. You can easily go through this and fill up the form to add a schedule. Once you added a schedule, so you can drag and drop these information to wherever you want. Duplicate this, change the details, whatever, right? So this is really easy in terms of managing, timetables and class schedules that's available for teachers and students. And once they log in, they get all these details directly. So what they have in specifically on Monday and all. And also they can you get push notification as well. So if you want to set up alerts, you get push notification through your mobile devices as well. Alrighty, so that's class schedules. Notice boards are pretty similar. So you can set up notices or bulletins, and that actually goes in as a message on the notification section, as well as a notification which is like this here, as well as a push notification on mobile device. So activities I discussed. So it is similar to what we discussed on a student portal. So here you can have everything managed from a single screen for multiple students. All right, so let's go into manage fee and donation, which is we are coming into the administration part. Very easy. So you actually set up you first set up what type of fee category it is. So I can name it as an academic fees. I can allow partial payments if that's something you want to do. When's the due date, if you want to send notification, or whether it is for a specific class, or is it for a specific student, right? Or you can select all of them together. So that's something easily you can set up. So once you set up, so for example, here it is. So let's look at registration fees. I can view all the invoices, and I know that there's few people who are paid, some of them are canceled, and some of them are unpaid. For the unpaid amount, you can, if you have enabled online payments, setting up online payments is easy. So you just go into the settings section and payment gateways, and you set up your preferred payment gateway. Here it's PayPal and Go Cardless, but the demo is not enabled with the other ones, which is a Stripe, Authorize.net, and stuff. So that's will be enabled once you log in, and you just put in the credentials to enable online payment. So once that's done, so all the information will automatically flow through. So you will see that if they have paid through the platform, it shows up as paid, unpaid, and so forth. And from you can view the invoice, you can add discounts, or you can add payment. So this is the invoice. I can add a payment. So it can be a PayPal, Go Cardless, whatever, paid on date. And when you update that, so you can add discounts. Once you update it, that shows that it's actually being paid. So that's pretty much from a fee and donation perspective. Financial accounting is, as I mentioned, it's a pretty much a comprehensive financial module. So I'm not going to go detail into it as part of the webinar, but there are videos and help documents to show that. Pretty much it's got all the functionality to manage from an accounting perspective. Reports around balance sheet, profit and loss statements, ledger accounts, everything is available. Also, mind you that this is designed specifically for smaller schools and institutions. So there's always the option to integrate Xero and QuickBooks as well. That will kind of help you. You can pretty much download all the fee and donations into Xero or QuickBooks account. And yeah, so the next thing is the library module. So you have the option to upload all the library books together, or you can add it manually. You can search ISBN. You can put in the ISBN number and search for it, and it automatically populates all the details here. Right, so that I can do. Once you kind of set up the books, you can edit it and do a check-in, check-out. For example, there's 6 available. Oops. Okay, something wrong in the demo tenant. So basically, you can check in, check out books from here. Yeah, so that's the library module. Graduation is where you kind of graduate students from, say for example, semester 1 to semester 2, or from grade 1 to grade 2, or you kind of closing the academic year. So use this module to do that. You basically select which class or section, and you kind of set where they will be going into. So they are grade 1, so they going to grade 2, and you set those graduations. You have the option to view scores before you kind of set these guys to the next class, whether they have passed all the subjects and stuff, and then graduate them at the end. So once you graduate, the academic years shows up at the navigation, so you can easily go back into previous academic years as well, and see that. So that's graduation reports. We have pretty comprehensive reportings. At the same time, we can do customized reporting and set it up for your tenant. We also have Power BI, Microsoft Power BI integration, so you can set up cool dashboards and stuff. And the best part is Power BI, the basic version is free, and I think that's enough to do a lot of the things. Yeah, so that's from a reporting perspective. And finally, e-commerce. So e-commerce is the module where you set up your online store for your school. So you have we have built a front end platform as well, where so this is public facing, where you can set up various products, and once you go into that, and you can purchase it, and management of all those purchases, products, discounts, delivery, everything is pretty much managed through the platform. So it's pretty much like your own your own e-commerce store. All right, so that's pretty much I wanted to show from an administrator perspective a quick summary of all the modules here, and yeah, so that's pretty much from an administrator perspective. I'm just gonna log out and show the admin aspect. So from a teacher perspective, so let me show parents, students. So here are all the details from a student perspective. So what has been scheduled. So class schedules show up here. So what's in it for him today? Yeah, so pretty much all we discussed from an admin perspective. So it's available here for him. Alrighty, so parent module is similar, and also teacher module is also similar. What I would recommend is, if you want some demo links, just send us an email, so we can send the links for the demo. So support@classe365.com, and we will be able to send you the test or the demo account so that you can play around. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to cover from a demo perspective. I'm just going to quickly go back into and see if we have any questions. Yeah, so so we have a few questions here. So the first question is regarding okay, how we are priced. Okay, so how we are priced is, if you go into our account classe365.com/pricing, you will have details around how we are priced. So we're kind of pretty much priced per student. So you'll not be charged for teachers or additional administrators. So you pay $50 a month for 0 to 100 students. So this is what we call the core modules. So what are the functionalities of core modules? You can get those details here. And here are the add-on modules. So these are all the add-on modules which we have. And that's for unlimited students. So there's no limit for the student number. You can, if you go by yearly plans, then there is, I think, 15% discount, right? So so that's from a pricing perspective. Let me look at if there's any more questions. So we had this question. I think I answered that. The SMS credits. Yes, the 500 SMSs are free, and anything more is charged at the prices which is as per Twilio. That's TWILLIO. And if you go into the SMS pricing, you will get details around that. So pricing, Twilio SMS, and there's no markup or anything we put in, so it's whatever the price which shows up here, right? So you select your, I think, country. somewhere. Yeah, so pricing. So just select your country and you will find whatever the pricing for that country is. But you do actually buy the SMS in 1,000 SMSs block, right? So let me look at any other questions. So we have a question. So is the mobile app live? Yes, it is live. Didn't actually show mobile app. We're running out of time, but you can download the mobile app on iOS and both iOS and Android. So just search for Classe365 on App Store or Google Play and download it, and you can play around. Okay, so the next question is the demo link. Okay, the demo link, yes, you will be able to just send us an email to support@classe365.com, and we will be able to send you the link to that. Unfortunately, we didn't actually, we had the demo link live, but we had a lot of misuse of the tenant, so we are only doing it for, like, you know, who is asking, so it's much more controlled. Okay, so there's a few more questions I'm going to answer. Okay, so customization. So how can we customize this? How much does the customization cost? Oh, the customizations, yes. The best thing about Classe365 is you can customize, because we have a physical as well as virtual separation of databases and the tenants. We can customize it. The cost of customization really depends on what the customization is. We differentiate, you know, minor and major customization. Minor customizations are normally free. Major ones, there's a nominal price for that, right? So that's from a customizations perspective. I've got another question here, payment gateways integration. Yes, there is payment gateway integration. Yeah, and we do support Stripe in the US. There's Stripe, GoCardless. GoCardless is a UK. PayPal, Braintree, Authorize.net is the major ones, right? Okay, so I've got a question from someone in Ghana and Nigeria. The question is there discounts available? Woo. Okay, so just send us some details around that. The core module is not, we don't actually discount that. Depending on you know, how many students, there is some margin, but if you are on an yearly plan, so there will be some discounts, and those discounts are mentioned on the website as well. All right, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for everyone for joining the webinar. So this is a weekly webinar. So if you want any of your team to join in, so next Wednesday here in Australia, Thursday here in Australia, Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. We run this webinar every week. Alrighty, so thank you so much again, guys, for everyone joining the webinar. We hope to support you guys through our platform. Thank you. Bye.